Hey folks, how we doing today? Me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel. A little cold in my living room today. It's one of the rooms we got kind of sectioned off, trying to keep our house warm. It is cold here in Texas today, and it's a little bit icy. So if anybody is out there on them roads today, let me just say, please stay home as much as you can. Stay out of this weather as much as you can. Speaking about Texas, I've got some great news for us Texans and for the country as far as I'm concerned, involving elections being run with integrity here in Texas. We had issues in Harris County. It looks like Abbott is doing more than just looking into it. And we will get into that near the end of the article, so stick with me till the end, folks. Now, first off, I want to say, before I forget, yesterday I put a shout out basically to Gateway Pundit and just appreciation and asking everybody to pray for them because they are in the process of exposing things that will probably have them more scrutinized than ever, and not just by the other media outlets, but by big tech, and not just big tech, but big government, the DOJ and the different entities that are trying to silence the Gateway Pundit, just like they try. And I just want to let everybody know I'm going to leave a link in the description down below to this General Flynn link to this General Flynn live feed. And then I'm going to leave a couple of more phone numbers down there, and these are phone numbers to DirecTV. So you can call them and tell them, I'm dropping your subscription, or I will never buy from you because you censor Newsmax. Newsmax has literally been canceled off of DirecTV and AT&T sites. And there's been, in the last 2 days, there's been over 100 and something thousand people cancel their subscriptions with these cable services, maybe switch to another one. I will tell you, if you're having these issues as well, you can always go get you a $40 Fire Stick. And Newsmax is free on the Fire Stick at this time. No charge. And it saves you from having to pay that cable bill. And there's actually a lot of good movies on the Fire Stick. But let me get into back into what I was saying. Now, you decide to call DirecTV, be nice. But let them know you are not happy with them canceling Newsmax. I'll be doing it myself here later on this afternoon. Like I said, I'll leave you a link in the description below to this Gateway Pundit live stream. I'm also going to leave you a couple of phone numbers to call DirecTV and AT&T, and just let them hear your voices. Whether you're a subscriber to their channels or not, at least let them know you don't appreciate the censorship that's going on, and you don't appreciate them being a woke company taking conservative news off the air. Now let me go ahead and shrink me down into the corner. Let's see. Now let's get into the good news I heard about Texas. This is all good news, me being from Texas. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to see Abbott is trying to do what DeSantis is doing, have election integrity in their states by whatever means necessary to pass legislation, to look into things, to prosecute the people that do those nefarious things, try to sway the people picking process. Anyway, let me get into it. It may necessitate new elections. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, after it's revealed Harris County election day ballot paper shortage far bigger than estimated. Now let me get into that. I'll try to word salad this up in case there's any of those F words in there. You know what I'm talking about. It says, as previously reported, Texas Governor Abbott in November called for an investigation into the widespread problems with Harris County elections during the midterms. If you don't know what Harris County is, that is Houston. This is one Harris County race in particular raised eyebrows. Alleged corrupt Harris County judge Lena Hidalgo, who is a George Soros funded judge, no doubt about it. That's a fact. She won her re-election by 16,000 votes against a popular Republican opponent. Hidalgo's top 3 staffers are under indictment, and law enforcement booed her during a commissioner's court meeting in October. Don't seem to like the lady too much. Hidalgo's top 3 staffers I didn't read that part, apologize. So it says Republicans spent millions to unseat Hidalgo, but she still somehow won her election by such a slim margin. I'm calling for an investigation of the widespread problems with Harris County elections that last Tuesday, Abbott said in November. The allegations of election improprieties in the state's largest county may result from anything ranging from malfeasance to blatant criminal misconduct. He added, Republican voters in Harris County were disenfranchised on Election Day after they showed up to vote at 8 p.m. but were turned away from the polling station. After being told they could vote up until 8 p.m., the voters were told the voting time cutoff was actually 7 p.m. Well, ain't that a shady situation? It turns out the paper ballot shortage on Election Day in Harris County was far worse than initially estimated. So Greg Abbott said it may necessitate a new election. According to KHO1U, 121 voting centers did not initially receive ballot paper to cover the voter turnout. The shortage of ballot paper at some point Harris County voting machines on Election Day was more widespread than Election Administration Office estimated, according to this news station. The county's post-election analysis on the extent of the shortage was largely inconclusive. Now, before I read too much more of this, let me read you Greg Abbott's tweet, and I'm going to play you the video about it. Harris County election, this is Abbott's tweet. It says, Harris County election ballot paper shortage was far bigger than initially estimated. It's so big it may have altered the outcome of the election. It may necessitate new elections. It will necessitate new laws that prevent Harris County from ever doing this again. And I like it.
Okay, I didn't ask to be in an emergency room twice in 1 week.
Dozens of deputies showed up to the meeting holding a banner that read, "Stop defunding." These law enforcement officers were hoping they'd get to speak and call for no law enforcement funding to be cut or reallocated. But because two county commissioners, Jack Cagle and Tom Ramsey, were absent, they were unable to move forward with setting any sort of budget. And because Judge Hidalgo wasn't feeling well, she just left early.
Part of the reason I came against doctor's orders was in the hope that one of my colleagues would show up and we'd be able to pass the budget to be able to fund 8.25% in races, to be able to fund $100 million in prosecutors and constables and police officers.
Godspeed. We hope you do it.
I'm getting better. I just need to take a little rest. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. So we're gonna take
The deputies who showed up all left the meeting shortly after Judge Hidalgo with no resolve. One of the missing commissioners, Jack Cagle, released a statement saying in part, "My presence at this meeting would mean my consent to a tax rate that would cost taxpayers an additional $257 million. I will make this as clear as I can. I will not negotiate with a knife to my throat." Commissioner Rodney Ellis, who was at today's meeting, sent a statement of his own saying, quote, "We can't debate people who don't show up, and we can't discuss a plan that doesn't exist. They are forcing Harris County to gut vital services and playing a dangerous game with the lives, health, and safety of Harris County families."
What do y'all think about that, folks? That lady is obviously defund the police. I know for a fact she is George Soros funded. I've seen a couple of articles about her on the Texas Tribune in the past. Miss Hidalgo, she is not very well liked in her town. The police there do not like her. She stands on the side of the protesters when it comes down to the riots and things that happened here in Houston, year and a half ago. I know this for a fact. All right, folks, this is another clip I found of Channel 11 News out of Texas here that has a corroborating story about the investigation of the issues with the people picking process in Harris County. Tell me what you think.
It was an Election Day controversy that left voters furious.
Some Harris County polls, you may recall, ran out of ballot paper. KHOU 11 Investigates found the shortage was more widespread than originally thought. Jeremy Rogowski has the details.
Election officials issued this report, but it did not conclude how many polls were short of paper. Our analysis came up with some firm numbers, but Harris County's top election official didn't want to talk about them.
Mr. Tatum. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Elections Administrator Clifford Tatum has been dodging us for weeks.
Yeah, just a moment. I'd like to talk to you about paper ballots.
Refusing to answer questions on the record about the Election Day paper shortage.
How does this happen? How do you run out of paper?
I've never heard of anything so basic as running out of ballots.
Voters and election judges demanded answers, but the county's analysis of the shortage was largely inconclusive. So KHEO 11 Investigates did its own analysis using the county's own records. We found when 121 polls opened on Election Day, they did not get enough ballot paper. Take Salyards Middle School. The county allocated 600 paper ballots, but voters here cast more than 1,000 total votes.
It was worse than what we even knew.
She's Cindy Siegel,
And there's no excuse in my mind.
chair of the Harris County Republican Party, which has a pending lawsuit against the Elections Administration Office. Ensuring enough paper to go around, she said, should not be that difficult.
The obvious thing is to go and look at history.
Election officials told us they did look at historical data to estimate paper supply, but we found a problem there too. On Election Day, 52 voting centers got less paper in 2022 than ballots cast in 2018. Look at these 3 locations. They got 600 paper ballots in 2022 after more than 1,000 ballots were cast 4 years earlier.
Instead of meeting the 2018 numbers, they basically gave them half as much. Does that make any sense?
No, it's mismanagement at best. We as Harris County voters deserve better.
But again, try asking Election Administrator Tatum about all of this.
How about I'll set up something with you next week?
Why don't we do it right here? We've been asking for weeks, sir.
I'll talk with you after I have a meeting.
Glad to see Governor Abbott stepping up to the plate and doing the right thing to try to fix the situation. Hopefully this will get kicked back to do a rerun the election, and definitely look into some of this situation that with the possible malfeasance. And like he said, definitely put laws into place so this never happens again. And that is the ultimate win there, folks. That's all I got for you, folks. Like I said, I've got DirecTV's phone number in the link in the description got a link in the description down below to Mr. Michael Flynn's live feed. And I've got phone numbers to DirecTV and AT&T if you want to call them and throw a fit. Tell them you want Newsmax back. Like, subscribe, and share to Vote Patriots. Hope you enjoyed.